Hey, I'll see you in Rutherford, New Jersey, Minneapolis, Minnesota, Ontario, California, Davenport, Iowa, Las Vegas, Chicago, and Grand Rapids, Michigan. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets. So you remember when Dr. Fauci was asked about social distancing, he said this.
CDC is advising all Americans now to wear a cloth mask, but not the surgical mask. Save those for the healthcare officials. Why the change now? Because most of us have been walking around, going to the grocery store, not wearing the mask because that was the original recommendation.
Well, we have to make sure we don't forget that the most important thing is to keep this 6-foot physical distance from individuals.
That was the most important thing, 6-foot distance. Turns out Fauci now admitted under oath, and I'm going to show you that he just made it up. Social distancing, masking kids. Fauci said he does not know where the 6-foot social distancing came from. He's also said he was unaware of studies recommending masks for kids because there weren't any. There weren't any. So the masking there was never a study that they could point to that said this is why we should mask. They just made it up. In fact, before COVID, Fauci would tell you don't mask.
And then to do it, and then to stop doing it, and then to do it again.
So here, bombshell testimony from Dr. Anthony Fauci reveals he made up the 6-foot social distancing rule and other measures to protect Americans. Kids' learning loss and social setbacks have been well documented, with one National Institute of Health study calling the impact of mask use on students' literacy and learning very negative. Very negative. And by the way, first of all, Fauci didn't make it up. It was a coalition of corporate psychopaths that made this up. Fauci just said what he was told to say.
He only does what he's commanded to do as a carved out wooden puppet boy.
And so, yes. And so there was big damage to kids from this made up stuff. The impacts of social distancing caused depression, anxiety, acute stress, intrusive thoughts, said another NIH study.
Oh, it worked.
And so thanks to him, Americans and American kids missed valuable school time, and they didn't get to learn about gender and butt plugs. So you want to see it was all made up like a square dance. It was designed for fucked up, shut and controlled freaks to feel like they had momentarily taken over the world.
Right.
Earth finally looked like the inside of their head to them.
Oh, they miss it. And those kids now are more like them. Remember, they're anxious. That's how you got to be all the time. Afraid.
That's right.
Anxious,
and just like them.
And unable to communicate.
And it was their chance to boss somebody around. Finally, after having pushed around themselves for so long, it's not wrong when they do it. And by the way, if you're a fan of the TV 6 Feet Under, you're going to love 6 Feet Apart. Am I right? The new series that you have to put on to subtitles because you can't understand what the fuck anyone is saying behind their masks.
Wasn't it supposed to be 10 feet apart at first? And then
then they just switched it.
Hey, you're killing me over here.
Yeah. So here it is. So this was under a testimony. Do you recall reviewing any studies or data supporting masking for children? You know, I might have.
Oh, he was busy with something else?
You're too busy. But I don't really specifically recall that I did. I might have.
What are you, Chris Cuomo?
Since there's been a lot of studies that have come out since the pandemic started, but specifically on this, there's been significance on the kind of like learning loss and speech and development issues that have been associated with particularly young children wearing masks while they're growing up. They can't see their teacher talk and they can't learn how to form words. Have you followed any of these studies? No.
What are you busy with?
No, he says. No, and I still think that that's up in the air. Ironic he says up in the air.
I spend most of my time at hearings.
So no. So the number one guy's following this less than a pothead jagoff comedian.
Less than Chris Cuomo. Chris Cuomo has figured out.
Chris Cuomo has figured it out, but he hasn't. So now Marjorie Taylor Greene asks him about this. Watch this.
You also represent the type of science where you confess that you made up the COVID rules, including
I didn't hear what you
6
said.
feet social distancing and masking of children.
I never said I made anything up.
You admitted that you made it up. You
I
made
didn't
it up
say
as you went.
I made it up.
You want to hear what he says? I didn't say I made it up. Well, what did you say? Hold on to your, because here it comes. Watch. What did you say?
So are you saying this is fake news, Mr. Fauci?
I didn't say I made anything up.
What did you say?
I said that it is not based in science and it just appeared.
It just appeared.
Wow.
It just appeared like a rabbit out of your hat. Hey, 6 foot distancing. Kids wear masks. It just appeared. I pulled it right out of a hat.
Were you scrying? He was using his crystal ball.
He goes, I didn't say. I said it just appeared.
I want to assure everyone it was pure occultism.
So it just appeared, and then you just said it.
CDC is advising all
so
Americans
it just
now to wear a
appeared,
cloth mask, but not the
and
surgical mask.
then
Save those for the
you
healthcare
just
officials.
repeated
Why
it.
change
Something
that
that's
just walking around,
abracadabras.
going to the grocery store, not wearing the mask because that was the original recommendation.
And then
well, we have to make sure we don't forget that the most important thing is to keep this 6 foot physical distance from individuals.
Where did that appear from?
That's like an air mask, 6 feet distance.
Where did that? So that just appeared, and then you told someone that it was real, but it wasn't based on science. And now he says that it wasn't based on science. It just appeared. So I just started to run around telling everybody that it was real and it was based on science. And then if you disagreed with him, you were disagreeing with science. Remember, he said if you criticized him, you were criticizing science.
Well,
and now he's saying, well, it wasn't based on science.
The science changes and things appearing, a lot of ins and outs and what happens.
A lot of ins and outs.
A lot of ins, a lot of outs.
I don't think I'll ever get over this answer of it just appeared. It wasn't based on science, and it just appeared.
I was busy torturing puppies, so I wasn't
That's right.
following the story.
So here he is admitting there was never any studies, or I can't recall. And are you following those studies now? No. No. The answer is no.
Listen, I've got a puppy cooking in the oven. I've got to get out of here.
And then when he's asked about it, he says, no, what I said is they weren't based on science. They just appeared. As if that doesn't make him look like the complete criminal psychopath that he is.
Well, crazy things happen at those Diddy parties. I can't remember it all.
And Marjorie Taylor Greene dismantles him. He gets dismantled, but that's your number one guy. That's your Saint Fauci, the people that Stephen Colbert and every asshole comedian in Hollywood were lionizing. That's him being dismantled by Marjorie Taylor Greene.
She's a terrible person.
Let's watch this again.
You also represent the type of science where you confess that you made up the COVID rules, including
I didn't hear what you
6
said.
feet social distancing and masking of children.
I never said I made anything up.
You admitted that you made it up. You
I
made
didn't
it up
say
as you went.
I made it up.
So are you saying this is fake news, Mr.
I
Fauci?
didn't say I made anything up.
What did you say?
I said that it is not based in science and it just appeared.
But
and I said,
Ha! I gotcha! Ha ha!
You're a big head butch body bitch.
So he's doing the Bill Clinton. What's the definition of is?
Yeah, that's that. The classics never die.
Yeah,
Russia.
I didn't say it was made up. I said it just appeared. Ha! Got ya! Ha ha! He has that look on his face like he just got her.
I mean, look, he did get her. Nothing's going to happen.
Nothing's going to happen to him.
All these hearings, it's very entertaining to watch his old Pinocchio nose grow, but I mean, in the end, is not going to amount to jack shit.
There's nothing's going to. Yeah, you're right.
People really are like, oh, just move on. I don't know how anyone can move on just from the masking alone.
Just from the masking alone.
Could you? I still see people with masks.
Still to this day.
Yeah.
Still to this day, and I hate it when I'm at a restaurant. I go to restaurants often because we don't have children, and that's one of the perks. And
I'm barren.
And a waiter or a waitress will come over and have a mask on. And I want to go, you know what? I want another. Just cut it out. I don't want to.
Still people wearing.
They're still doing that,
and they're doing it because they have to at work, or it's their own thing.
No, there'll be like one or two in the whole place. When I go to the medical offices in Pasadena, which I still do because they all have to wear masks. You know, it's a mandate, Pasadena Health Department. And when I went for this to get this cancer off my face, every person in that office is wearing a mask. The people behind the front desk, every nurse assistant, every nurse, every doctor, every person there's got to be 25 people in that office that work there, and every one of them's wearing a mask. Still to this day.
Wow, they should get those big, like, what are those plague masks they had with the big bird beak? The top hat, that'd be pretty cool.
So there you go. I never said I made it up. What did you say? I said it wasn't based in science and it just appeared. Got ya.
Are we done here? I need to unleash sandflies onto the face of a dog.
No kidding. Hey, you know, everything's really expensive, and by the time you pay all your monthly bills, there's nothing much left, so you end up swiping your credit card and trapping you in high-interest credit card debt. Well, guess what? If you're a homeowner, there's help. You heard that right. American Financing can help you. Interest rates have dropped into the 5s. That's right, they've dropped into the 5s. That's a much lower credit interest than your credit card. So what do? You call American Financing because they're saving customers an average of $854 a month by using the cash in their home to pay off their higher interest credit card debt. That's $10,000 a year. That's right. Make the free 10-minute call. Free 10-minute call to see how much you can save. They never charge any upfront fees, and if you start today, you may be able to delay 2 mortgage payments. So call 888-804-0303. That's 888-804-0303. Or visit AmericanFinancing.net/Jimmy. You come see me on tour in Rutherford, New Jersey, Minneapolis, Minnesota, Ontario, California, Las Vegas, Davenport, Iowa, Chicago, Illinois. We're doing a live panel video show, special surprise guests on that show, and Grand Rapids, Michigan. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets, and make sure you go to Jimmy Dore because they don't want to buy it from a second reseller.